most exciting destination in all of northern Wisconsin. LCO Casino Lodge and Convention Center, Hayward. LCO.
Hello, I'm Kimberly, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Nave News Update. It's Friday, August 12th. Many of the stories you hear here can be found at IndianCountryNews.com. And here's the news for today from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. On September 26th, President Obama will host the 2016 White House Tribal Nations Conference in Washington, D.C. This will be the President's 8th and final Tribal Nations Conference, providing tribal leaders from the 567 federally recognized tribes with an opportunity to interact directly with high-level federal government officials and members of the White House Council on Native American Affairs. Each federally recognized tribe is invited to send one representative to the conference. This year's conference will continue to build upon the President's commitment to strengthen the government-to-government relationship with Indian country and to improve the lives of American Indians and Alaska Natives. The Prairie Island Indian Community recently purchased land east of St. Paul, Minnesota, and is making emergency evacuation and relocation plans under the threat of living next door to nuclear power plant reactors and stored radioactive fuels. The Tribal Council announced in March that it had purchased 112 acres for possible future development. This was a precautionary action in the event of a nuclear event with either the power plant or continuing radioactive waste storage at Prairie Island. On June 6, the Council applied to the Bureau of Indian Affairs to have the newly acquired land placed in federal trust in the event the community must vacate its ancestral island homeland. The importance of this step became obvious on June 3rd when the U.S. Court of Appeals in the District of Columbia ruled that spent fuel rods from the power plant may remain indefinitely on the island unless the federal government finds a suitable depository somewhere else that no one wants. Recognizing the threat, the 2015 Minnesota legislature authorized the tribe to purchase and seek federal trust land protection of up to 1,500 acres of relocation purposes within a 50-mile radius of Prairie Island. JoAnn Kauffman, a prominent Nez Perce tribal member and national Native American rights activist, has been featured in Washington's Secretary of State's Legacy Washington Project. The Who Are We program highlights a group of Washingtonians with stories about their lives in an interactive exhibit in the state's capital. The project focuses on people who have had a positive impact on their community. Kauffman, who grew up in Seattle and moved to Spokane in 2000, is the subject of nearly a 5,000-word profile on the Secretary of State's website. She'll also speak at the exhibit's opening ceremony on August 25th in the Capitol building in Olympia, Washington. For more information, you can check out sos.wa.gov/legacy/whoarewee. Stephanie Conda, a Cherokee tribal member, came up with an idea for a product after months of preparing her infant daughter's meals and bathrooms. Her solution, portable lactation rooms, could help businesses follow labor laws and potentially create a more loyal workforce. Federal labor laws require employers to provide a private space for lactating mothers to pump breast milk at work. A 2010 amendment requires that employees also have break time for pumping. A February 2016 study in a scientific journal, Women's Health Issues, found that only 40% of mothers surveyed had access to a private space and break time for expressing breast milk. Kondoff said she realized there was an opportunity to create a solution to the problem she and so many other breastfeeding mothers faced. It was also an opportunity to create jobs for Native Americans in Oklahoma. For more information, you can check out lechelounge.com. Notah Begay III announced a deal with CPA firm REDW LLC to help promote and build on its services for tribal governments and companies. Known for his career in professional golf, Begay said this was the first time he's ventured outside of sports-related contracts like the ones he's had with Nike. The deal would see Begay serve as a brand ambassador for REDW, and in return the firm plans to work with a variety of Begay's personal and corporate financial ventures. The firm will also provide support in his philanthropic initiatives, including as a key sponsor for Begay's NB3 Foundation annual Grand Slam golf tournament at Santa Ana Golf Club. Begay, who received an economics degree from Stanford, has in recent years focused on Native American communities in the U.S. through both for-profit and nonprofit ventures. In a June interview with Business First, Begay talked about healthcare, technology, finance, and how tribal nations can become more self-sufficient. According to Begay, all those things were a big motivation for the business partnership with REDW. And that's another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. I'd like to thank you for joining me, and have a grand day.